Morning Grand Rising. It's 9:57 to 9:58 a.m. 4/11/2025. Welcome to Paraconomy Inc. I'm Professor Fun 101 and the Pervert Vertebrae here to give it to you straight here. We've found some details as to who's on the other end of Paraconomy's telepathy line of dupe. um, it's basically my old crew of trans girls that I put together. Now, over the past decade, I've been transitioning, and a couple of them, my friend Jen was like the first one in our town to transition, and then I like kind of followed suit. Um, and I grouped together a nice group of gays here, starting with Jesse, and then Jesse and I dated Riley together, and then I got kicked out. Jesse picked up Kat and was dating Riley on the side. But then like Kat got kicked out. I picked up Jess because she was buying me pizza and lockdown happened and we tried to get a house built for trans girls, and I was on the fence about it, but she thought she could see the idea through all the way. We pick up Riley, start sending her into Groovy Girls agents and photographers and stuff because they needed a little bit of a network, and so we put it all together. That happened. Riley dipped out. She doesn't like Jessica. I didn't blame her. And then Jess moves in, and all of a sudden, Jess meets Kat on Tinder. Now, Kat knows me barely, but like has heard a lot about me. I've never met her, and we've never met each other, but Jessica gets manipulated by Kat to stay longer because I only wanted Kat to stay on the weekends and stuff. Like, I didn't want this to be a live-in crew. Not unless there was gonna be rent pay, bills paid, all these other things paid. Cat starts having psychosis and like starts breaking down and screams for 7 hours a day, like 5 to 7 hours a day, from like the get-go of her like moving in to like us transitioning to get her own place and moving her in with Sam. So now Sam's upset with me because I've made Kat her problem, and Kat is taking all the baggage from Jesse's relationship and trying to refinance it onto me. This brings this brings Kendra. I meet Kendra on Tinder, and I hook up Kat with Kendra so she can have her own and she can leave me alone a little bit. Now, Kendra's party, Kat brings me over. Kat's already set the scene and manipulated the whole friend group to not really give me attention. But then I'm naturally likable, and like Cassie starts coming up to me and talking to me, and that's how she got into the group. Like over the next few weeks, Cassie starts trying to live with Kat in a suitcase, and is like Kat makes her give her head in front of me while I'm just sitting there like during a movie. They both got a little drunk, and Kat like legit just wanted to, lack of a better word, cuck me. And like that's how I kind of pick up Cassie. I'm like, okay, Cassie, I just saw some weird go down with you and Kat. I don't want the trans girls to be remembered so ratchet. I want to kind of help you, but like if you're a hand me down, I want to make sure I put you back up. So like I was trying to get Cassie back with their partner Marlo in a sense, but just help give Cassie a place to live. That's one of the bigger reasons people break up. It's because they have to live together. And that's kind of why Kat and Sam are breaking up. It's because Sam can't take care of Kat, and Kat just needed a place to live. So Kat somehow gets back in touch while I'm with Cassie. Kat gets back in touch with Jesse and Riley, and invites Jesse and Riley to Kendra's. Jesse brings Jen Jen O'Brien, my old friend, back into the picture because we were all the three of us were kind of seeing each other for a second as well. And so now it's a bunch of my exes bitching about how horrible I treated them. And instead of looking at the bigger ulterior motive, which was to place a safety network for gay people that had people who were comfortable enough around each other to be able to like take care of that. And this led to a spearheading of gang tactics and manipulation from Jen, Kat, Cassie and Dakota, and then like covertly Sam, Jessica, and Riley and the rest and Kendra and them. So they all got the help I needed before I needed it, wasted it, and now I need it. And they're like, well, can't do anything. So I'm getting evicted because of these people needing their bills paid, needing food, needing clothing, needing all these other things. And they're like sitting at the top of their tower pretending that they pieced together the biggest trans coup in Michigan's history with basically like Jen and Kendra kind of sitting at the top of it, and they're basically using their reach for women's persecutors in order to put me into a place that makes them more powerful. So that's basically how I've ended up over here. They've co-opted into the witchcraft community and goth girl community, and they're having them take care of all the things they cannot take care of as trans women. So that's kind of how we've gotten here, is a bunch of gossip on top of really, really sad consequences and rumors that have been swapped up for exchange rate for things like they did. And while they were using all of the help I needed, they've made new relationships, they've partied a lot, they've done a lot of things. They've left me completely alone and desolate, and on top of that have been using the telepathy they've gained from any sexual encounters with me against me, and to daily monitor me using this line of relationship that we've already cut ties, and there nobody's here. So that's one big reason why, like, that's why they've turned on me. Don't trust these trans people. Um, definitely be very, very thin on the amount that you're going to give yourself up to on their likeness, because they will lie to you. They're very manipulative, and this is how they fight without having to lift a finger and show that their passive aggressive behavior is more successful than actually active, like, violence or persuade or even just fighting. This is how these ones will want to stand as this goes forward. So just understand that's what you might see you might see some mental breakdowns here, because I think they were hoping to get away with all of the details and never have to come clean about it. But seeing as there's now going to be a live stream and a video facing some of this thing, because these are pretty smart people, but they're not very socially experienced. Very often I somehow end up with a lot of white nerds that like to build PCs because my dad's a gamer and he's been gaming his whole life. So he showed me how to build them, how to like run some basic syntax error, all sorts of things. I grew up with that. They didn't. And so they're probably thinking like they don't need me because I'm not interested in video games and stuff like that. But I'm still interested in music. But they're like, well, that's too popular. So that's kind of why they don't like that I've carried in my maleness, my masculinity in through the gateway of like trans culture in order to help like give them a cornerstone. because like they are not looking to stay men. They're looking to become more feminine. So that's kind of why I took the initiative, and they've just given it to women. And what they've done is they're utilizing the argument on female markers and male markers on my license to say, hey, look, the women beat the men every time. And they're standing there like, yeah, we won. We have all your money. We have all your friends. We have all the things that you've ever wanted. Get lost. So that's kind of how we're ending up with this conversation floating around online, is because they don't care. They just don't care. And what you guys can kind of like anticipate is some more of like these sorts of more gossipy videos on who did what, how they did it, and like where they're trying to get away with. And that's essentially why don't trust this part of the trans community. Um, this part of the trans community and LGBT is very, very lost on some things because they don't do this, they don't get out very much. And this might be one of the first times that they've gotten out, but I'm not their mom. So it's weird that they're trying to be like, treat anybody who looks and acts like my mom, right, horribly. So, like, because I'm coming in with structure, they're immediately turned off by the fact. And that's going to be where they lose me, because they continue to they've attempted to make their own structures off of mine, and then they want me to just disappear. But that's not how structure building works. You lose a part of the fidelity there, it creates loss. So that's a big reason why they walked into the boil kettle here, and they got themselves all burnt up on some stuff. So that's like that's probably what's going on, and that's probably why all the other women that I've mentioned probably have very little to do with it, but they might be stuck in some of it as well, because these women got with a lot of their men eventually. So like we're all on the same network of like people that we've been with and stuff like that. And it's getting a little tight because we know who the bad apples are here. And at 10:10 a.m., 4/11/2025, it's April. I'm getting evicted because three girls can't get along. Three or four girls can't get along. And then you have like a few that are like, don't like men, which like, so like, but like as we go, you see that there's like what I'm saying is true and what they're saying might not be. So like that's kind of why it's gotta go. So like there's that, and like they know they don't have to do this. But they are again, they're OCD autistic. They have to compartmentalize and compile their organization. I'm a Capricorn though. This is my bread and butter. But if you mess with theirs, they're not. A lot of them are like summer, springtime babies. So Cassie's in the fall. So like that's kind of one big reason why it's like they're using astrology on top of like a bunch of like nerd cred. So they've been going to like anime conventions without me, and like they've been leaving me out high to dry because they don't think I like the same things, and I don't like everything. I mean, like they're into like Joji and H3H3 and mainline YouTube like dickwad celebs. So they're not as big of like feminists as they might be like trying to put it on and don the attire of a full on like trans coup, but they're also very not, they don't care. So like that's like another part. I care in a place that actually it has an effect on things, and they don't have that. They don't know where they would put it because theirs is to like rebel against their parents. Mine's to like shed a light on the subject at all. So like it's probably why they're dealing with some of the social politics and hierarchical design functions of doing something first. And because I went to jail first, I get to talk about it first. And since I'm concurrently on the run because I'm a trans girl and like I pull it together enough for people to like get with me on some stuff. And then if they don't, and I don't care, I'll walk away. But if they start fighting me, I might have to defend myself because that's kind of why. Um, and it just this is where we're at. Okay, civilian disclosure. It's 10/13, 4/11/2025. I'm here. I'm Professor Fun. I'll be here throughout the day, and I just wanted to make it clear that these people up some penance. I'm on 4K on rent that hasn't been paid, and they don't want me to work the job that I got this place with, just because it makes me popular. And they just don't want me to have anything. They want me to starve. They want me to like be homeless. They want me to be fiscally depending on them. And that's why it could get violent. So like